all putting in the work, and I'm really happy about that. Okay? Just keep showing up. Keep coming to meetings. That's how this thing works. Okay? Okay, and I see we have a new person at our meeting. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Actually, I have an activity we can all do together. We should go to Plastic City Comic-Con. There's just so much to do there. There's comic books, toys, games, anything you can ask for.
Wait, do you work for Plastic City Comic-Con?
Me? Work for Plastic City Comic-Con?
But we're all going to Plastic City Comic-Con, right? I thought so. Now, who here owes me money?
PlasticCityComicCon.com for info and tickets.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Indie Comics Relay. I'm your host, Keith Gleason, creator of the Mighty Mascots and promoter for Plastic City Comic-Con. With me is always Johnny C., creator of Sartana, Surrounded by Death and the Pond, for Mr. Roger Morocco.
Roger Morocco.
And our third co-host, Harry G., graphic artist extraordinaire.
Hey,
What's going on, fellas?
Not too much.
I should start off the bat that another week goes by and another guest has vanished. I think this
one couldn't even make it onto the broadcast. They tagged out beforehand.
Yeah, at least JC tried, right?
JC tried, unfortunately.
And,
unfortunately, couldn't make it.
We've only had one other guest bag us before that, right? Like,
we've got a pretty good track record normally. But
and I think this might have been that. I mean, this was scheduled maybe at least 3-4 months out. And I'm guessing that maybe something else came up and the guy forgot or whatever. But hey, it is what it is,
When something's scheduled 3 to 4 months out, it's only an emergency that would block you from that. Right?
Yeah. He said something about
anything beyond that, I would say is that, maybe you need to manage your schedule a little bit better. No knock on the guest, none at all. No knock on them. But if you schedule in advance.
Yeah. I mean, we run a show calendar, and I'm guessing most guests tag it or, put some kind of reminder in place for themselves. But what are you going to do,
Right. Exactly. It's but I mean, we can always give them a shout out. It looks like their campaign, God's Untold, which was an anthology on Kickstarter. Looks like they slayed their goal.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, so they're all set then.
After. Yeah, then they don't need us. All right.
Right.
Yeah.
We've done our job.
Maybe that's why they didn't want to come on. I don't know.
They're going to
put it up.
They're going to the premiere right now.
14,000 euro goal, and they surpassed it with 15,358 euro across 371 backers. So the campaign looks like it's done.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So, and they did really well. So that's probably what happened there is they did well enough that they're like, we don't need these guys.
Yeah, it could be. That's probably what happened. Well, and can you get it anymore or no?
There's a pre-order button at the top of the page. It says pre-order them goodies. So if you click on that, it looks like it redirects you to a backer kit, which backer kit's kind of like the in-demand version of Kickstarter. You know what I mean?
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
When you did yours, Johnny, was there an option for backer kit?
Yes, but not integrated quite yet.
Okay.
So I think I completely avoid doing all that. There is a button where I can say follow along, and I put basically the Facebook page there. Because I don't.
Yeah, I have that on my old campaigns too. Like you could go, it has that follow along option,
right?
Like you can go to a store or something after the fact. But
that's kind of like in demand. But
yeah, I would consider trying Kickstarter again if they get the backer kit portion going. Because I think that's my favorite part about Indiegogo is the in demand feature because you make so much money after the campaign's over too. I would say at least one fourth of what I made on this last one was from in demand,
Yeah.
So I don't know.
think I'd like to try. Kind of in the same boat, but reverse. I'd like to try Indiegogo, but I also feel like Indiegogo is a platform that is specific to a certain type of like comic, and it would be good for me to try it out if I were to try it like a second chance campaign.
Yeah.
Or,
kind of like what Tony did with Star Noir.
Right. Or try like, maybe if I'm working with a specific collaborator that is already established on Indiegogo, then at that point I would say, well, hey, let's run it off your campaign page because you're
definitely.
thing. And then, you know what I mean?
I got to do more research on Fund My Comic and what's that other one? Is it Crowdfunder?
Crowdfunder with no E. It's just the R.
I wanted to take a look at both of those and see if there's any advantage between doing, those over Indiegogo. Not that I hate Indiegogo. I think there's like a lot less competition there. But I don't know. I'm open to trying new things, So
So Crowdfunder is also a big sponsor of SPX. So
really? Okay.
SPX, not this year, but the prior year, they were on, Crowdfunder was on site. They were, talking about the platform. I actually got the guy's info to come on the show, and I never followed up with him. I should have, and maybe I will, just so that we can.
Do you know what his name is? Yeah, you should. I'd love to have him on. I'd love to talk to him.
Something.
Is he run tonight? Actually,
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, that's something I would do a special episode for. I wouldn't mind talking to somebody that runs one of the crowdfunders,
just to learn that platform and what are the differentiators between the other funding platforms.
Question for you, Johnny. Now, since we're talking about crowdfunding in general, so I started writing Mighty Mascots number 10 today. I got about 10 pages written, which is great, So it helps because
10 issues.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Oh, it's so awesome, man.
Thanks,
I love
man.
it.
And I've outlined the whole issue. I've really thought about every beat that's supposed to happen in the issue. So kind of sitting down and just writing the dialogue and in the action and stuff. And then I'll sit down and do other drafts later. But I'm already starting to think about the next campaign now that I closed the last one, and I'm like wondering if I should do if I should just do the one issue, because I think I had a lot of trouble doing 3 issues at once. I was thinking I'd rather do one issue at a time going forward. But then I was also thinking maybe I should also write the first issue of the other comic that I want to write, which I've told you about, the one that involves social media and superpowers and all that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was wondering if I should do both of them in one campaign or,
So I've actually been debating the same because for issue 3 is Surrounded by Death.
Okay.
And the spinoff I have planned. Do I launch 3 and number 1 of the spinoff in the same campaign, or is that 2 separate campaigns? And I'm kind of torn on the idea. You know what I mean? Because on one hand, I'm thinking, okay, if you don't want to continue with issue 3, 1, 2, or 3, well, here's something different you can try. Because it's going to be a totally different kind of book, even though it's Surrounded by Death. Or do I do it as separate things and then do them closer together? And I don't know the backers' psychology there, where if it's 2 campaigns back to back, if it would get the same impact if I were to maybe just do everything all in one. And all in one, because then think about it, if somebody who backs 3 will also might want to get 1 of the spinoff, and then in turn, if I set my goal lower, I might have a bigger number overall. I was about confirming with people like, for example, Carissa Grant. She just launched another campaign today.
Yeah, so isn't that crazy?
About the time that she was last on her show with the previous one to now, it's such a quick turnaround time.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I admire her hustle. It's crazy. But the thing is too, and I think you're onto something, and that's what I was thinking too. Because if you think about it, like if you just put out one book, okay, what's the highest that tier is going to be? So say people come into your crowdfunder and they just want the book. Are you going to do like a $5 perk level, or are you going to try to do $10? I feel if you do 2 issues, it's easier to get to that $10 or $15, you know, regular perk level. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, depending on the size of the book, and also you have to count that even if it's a single issue, you're offering a digital file to go with it. So
That's a
you
good
know what I
idea.
mean?
Yeah.
So
Or
in
you can
turn,
offer something like a mini print or something that's not going to cost you a ton of dough, you know?
right. And then that in turn can kind of inflate that number, the smaller number a little bit. So, I mean, really, it's 6 one way, half dozen the other. I think at the end of the day, when you look at it and you can say, oh, well, I can run 2 campaigns back to back, or, within a reasonable amount of time, or I can do it all in one whack. I think I would lean more towards doing it just from a creator perspective and not from a numbers or marketing perspective. I would do it in one whack only because it would make it easier.
Make it
Fulfillment would
easier.
happen at one time.
Yeah.
You know what I
You
mean?
have a lot to do. Yeah. To
Right.
add
Can you
to it.
imagine doubling down on the amount of time you have to run your fulfillment?
I mean,
Only
Carissa
because,
does
like,
it, right? So but
right,
I don't have her hustle level, you know?
right, exactly.
I think, yeah. The other thing I was going to, yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think that's the way to go. My thing is though, if I do that, I have 2 books that aren't the same thing, you know. One would be a new number 1 and the other one would be issue 10 of the Mighty Mascots, which might be a little confusing. But I could do it as like an add-on perk where you can like either get number 10 of Mighty Mascots, you can add on the new book, or you can get just the new book and then add on the Mighty Mascots. I don't know. Might be confusing. I might ask
Dig
around
this.
other people and see what they think.
Or just
Do
have them,
sorry, Harry, go on.
just combine both books into one. Have a
Into
crossover.
one release.
Crossover.
So one way you can test the waters is that you can make the new book an add-on as a pre-order on the 10 campain.
Yeah,
So,
almost like here's unlock
and
this
then you
as
could
an
say like,
add-on.
okay, well, if if you're interested in the next thing, it's coming very soon. Here's a pre-order for it, and then do like a day 1 discount, and then do like regular price pre-order, and then that way it'll get you on the hook. And then whoever gets that pre-order on that new book, it also gives you a certain modicum of this is the amount of level of interest the book has with minimal marketing behind it.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see like what the worth is for the story on the elevator pitch alone as a pre-order. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. That's not a bad idea.
So
So yeah, it won't happen anytime soon, but probably the earliest would be spring or something, you know.
yeah.
The earliest if I get it done. Cuz what I plan on doing is writing them both. And then you know how it is. You shelve it away for a month and then you go back and look at it again. And then
That
once it's ready, I'll
process
do the
is
thumbnail.
such an important step that's constantly overlooked by people.
Oh yeah.
It's like you got it. Although in Carissa's perspective, that doesn't necessarily work because she writes it in character, in flow. So that's another thing that fascinated me about her. Is just like she needs an editor, but more for grammatical purposes and not for content, because it's all stream of consciousness from a character's perspective. It's so bizarre. It's like
it is
wild.
bizarre, but it
Wild to
works
think
in a
about.
strange way, you know.
Right, exactly. Which is like she tapped into something very specific that she's working on that allows her to flow through and just continually keep it going. And it's just it's a whole nother level.
She's definitely interesting, and she's coming back. I think she booked like January or sometime, I think, for our show to come back. Let me take a look real quick.
Okay, and
At the
while you're
schedule
mentioning
right
that,
here.
like I said, she's got a campaign that
late
launched
January.
today. She's got a campaign that launched today, and anybody who backs today, she said, gets a print.
Oh, cool.
Print. So
Nice.
just another thing.
Maybe
out there for,
at the end of the show we can shout out some of the campaigns. I know Tony.
I got a few.
Tony needs a little boost too, right? He's so close to the goal.
Tony passed the goal, actually.
Oh, did he really? Okay,
He
great.
did today.
Oh, good.
But hitting the goal only guaranteed issue 2.
Okay.
Overperforming guaranteed the potential to go forward.
Okay.
And that's where it's like, things might just kind of halt at issue 2 now, unfortunately. So he's got 4 days. He needs about $2,000 more. He might be able to nail it.
It's doable.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
he could also do the second chance now too and try to, go back in there. Man, that book must be costing that dude a fortune, huh? Holy shit. Like, I can't believe how much money he's spending on creators and stuff. But I mean, you look at the product though, and you can tell like he's going for top talent,
That's what it is. And I had that conversation with him in New York at New York Comic-Con. We kind of went through and we talked numbers, how much you're paying for your colorist, how much you're paying for your letterer, XYZ. And I kind of compared notes, and like you said, for what he's looking to do and what he wants out of his story costs that amount. It's
I mean, he's working with established guys, so I mean, imagine the page rates are
not cheap.
Top tier. Yeah,
right, exactly. But now he has this piece of work that he can collect and sell infinitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing, is even if it takes him 10 years at conventions slinging books, or if he gets picked up by a publisher, which I'm confident
that's coming. Yeah, that's
coming.
What I
mean?
He's probably just going to finish the series, and someone will take that. If he can finish the
series and double down,
Scout or Vault or one of those guys,
anybody would be interested in starting.
Yeah, they'll take that book.
Exactly.
Plus the movie deal too when it comes up.
Yeah. Well, the other great thing about the story though, it's got like, it's not dated. Like it won't be dated in 10 years. It's set in this time capsule time of was it 1947? Is it set or something like that? Yeah, like so it's not going to be dated at all.
And who knows when the alien's from?
What's that?
Who knows when the alien's from? The alien
yeah, right.
From
he's actually from 2024.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't know.
He's modern. He's a modern alien. But yeah, no, I that's good. I think he'll find a way to do it. He's got he's got the drive to do it. So
I believe in the kid. That's for sure.
He actually messaged me.
Him and Nandor.
Yeah, definitely. Nandor hit too, which I saw, which is great. Yep. He messaged me, or Tony messaged me a week or two, last week, I think. And he actually wants to come back on the show at some point just to sit in and hang with us. He loves like the.
I'll give him my guest spot. He can take my spot for a week. I'll go on break.
Well, I figured if he comes in, we would just do that. Like we would just have him in and just shoot the shit with somebody.
He's a cool kid, good guy. Totally love having him on the show. Love chit-chatting comics with him. Love just chit-chat with him generally. He's good people.
Yeah, exactly.
Him and his girlfriend Gwen, real nice people.
Nice. Yeah, I wish I went to New York just to meet like him and a couple of the other people we know from the show, see George and all that,
Yeah. Next year.
Yeah, I might try next year. We'll see where next year takes me.
If not, just to go to the show.
Yeah, you could just go, You know
what I mean?
We haven't had any more updates on Plastic City. I told you guys we were talking to the Doubletree in Leominster, and it's looking good. We're talking dates. They would do like all the rooms, which is great. So we could fit in, bunch of people in the big room, and then there's like other side rooms we can put vendors and stuff. And then we could do panels this year too. So the couple of the dates we're gunning for, Johnny. When is San Diego this year, or 2024?
Last weekend of July.
Okay. So one of the
put it
dates.
this way, Hang on. I'm going to pull up the calendar right now, but put it this way. The last weekend of July and the first half of August, don't bother even looking at that because you have
Oh yeah,
you have
absolutely.
San Diego, Wicked, and then Terrificon all back to back. And then I think another week after that's Fan Expo, and then give it 2 more weeks and it's
No, I
Granite.
thought Fan Expo moved to June.
Did they? They're
Let me
traditionally
check.
in August.
Yeah, let me check. I thought they moved their date around. Give me one second.
So
I'll check it out.
San Diego's 26th. I'm sorry, 24th to the 28th.
So that's the last weekend in July, right?
Last weekend in July.
So the dates we were looking for was definitely not that one. Yeah. Yeah. So Fan Expo is at the end of June.
Oh, so they're moving things around then.
Yeah, I might, this might be the year for me to try Fan Expo. We'll see. We'll see.
You've never been before?
I've yet to try it. I've never been.
Comments.
What's that?
No
Johnny's
comment.
been, right? Yeah.
No comment.
I've heard mixed things.
It's
Like,
not as celebrity driven. I mean,
I've
it's a
seen mixed
handful.
things.
what's that?
I have seen with my own eyes mixed things that have
Okay.
allowed me to cast a judgment where I will say no,
Really?
unless
Okay.
I was offered a guest spot,
Okay.
which I don't think I would deserve a guest spot.
Do you
But,
think
if they wanna have me.
do you think me with like Amy stuff would do okay there or no?
Sure.
What are your
Would you
thoughts?
be going for Artist Alley or would you be going for
Yeah, I'd probably be going for the cheapest. Yeah, you think no?
save your money, save your weekend,
Okay.
save your time.
And it's a 3-day
Time
show,
is more
right?
valuable than anything else. And I've learned,
Gotcha.
if anything, the biggest loss is not money, but time wasted at a convention.
Yeah, you're right.
That's
why
the
I'm
biggest
kinda-
loss of all.
Yep. You're right. I mean, that's why I'm kind of done with the 3-day shows. I'm kind of like, I'm just looking for stuff that's 2 days and 1 day. And then if it's going to be multiple days, it's going to be a big thing like New York or San Diego for me to do it now.
Because even then, more often than not, those bigger shows are typically going to come at a loss anyway. But you're writing off a lot of your expenses. So it all kind of washes out, especially if you have a good product you're selling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People don't look at that. They just look at the dollars and the cents of what they sold, and they don't weigh things out fully. The actual income versus what's expensed. You know what I mean? And there's a whole different spectrum there. There's a reason why people pay accountants.
Well, the other thing we were talking about, I would love, and I don't know if you have any desire to do this, but I would love to do like a show in like Italy or UK or something like Thought Bubble
So Thought Bubble was this last weekend.
Right. I would do that just for the vacation aspect, but also to be able to sell your comic in another country. I think that'd be fucking awesome.
That would be cool. Weird for tax purposes. I wouldn't know how that would shake out.
Well, you'd have to figure out how the money exchange would go too, right? Like,
right.
Well, euros,
Right. My buddy Jeff Ryder was there, and our good friend Trevor.
He went to Thought Bubble.
Yep. And Trevor Lenkowitz Fernandez.
From what's his comic again? Was it 50x51 or something?
Or something like that.
Like
Area 51.
Yeah,
Area 51. So they were both out there.
They both went there, huh?
You know what? I know something funny is that I'm flipping through Instagram, and on Hades' Instagram is my buddy Jeff Ryder.
Oh, really?
So you went to go. It's just like it was like two worlds colliding. Yeah. And I messaged him. I go, "Hey, man, Jeff's a good dude. He'll close down that pub with you, bro."
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
How does Jeff have all the money to do all this, huh?
Jeff's got a lot of great opportunities.
Does he work? Does he have a regular job?
He has a part-time job, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like thinking about all
comics,
the expenses.
Though. His main is comics.
Really?
You know what I mean? And writing. And he gets writing gigs all the time. He does pretty good for himself.
That's good. That's good to hear. I mean, yeah, I would love to do one of those just to even just go, to that country, you know.
Yeah,
And
oh,
someone
for
was
sure.
telling me about a one in Italy. I forget who that was.
Roger was telling me about one in Italy, in Rome. I
Yeah.
was considering it
When?
only
What
because
time
my
of year is
Italian's
that?
passable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What year? What time of year was that one? Do you remember?
I forget. I think it was April, if I remember
Okay.
correctly. But I'd have to look. I'd have to do my research once again.
So
And
that
I,
would
I
be a
would
bucket
think,
list for me. Like I would love to do one there. Also, one of these days I got to try to get up to Canada too and hit one of those shows.
yep,
You know.
yep. There's a
At
fan
least, at
expo
least.
one. Sorry, Harry, go on.
No. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just say I've been told that there's a fan expo show up in Canada. That's the preferential one to attend.
Okay.
I guess there's two. One of them's the one to go to, and the other one's the one to skip. I'd have to refer back to my resources.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
But
Harry, what were
Harry,
you saying?
No. I was going to say, at least we're connected with Canada. Same continents. We can,
yeah, right,
it
right.
shouldn't be
Like
too hard to
you
get
you
to.
could drive there. You don't
You
have to
could
actually
drive,
take
right?
a plane, or if you don't want to, you know.
Have to update my
Um,
passport though.
Yeah. But to circle back to what I was talking about with Plastic City, so the date we're kind of pursuing, we gave them like 5 dates, and the one we want to do is July 13th, I think, which would be the weekend
After the
after like
holiday.
4th of July and everything, and then maybe the weekend after that. But that would maybe run into some trouble with you if you're going to San Diego, because sometimes you leave the weekend before.
Right, which I
So
typically do, and I might aim to do this time around as well.
yeah, so I'll let you know
Like
if we have to
vacation time,
move to that weekend. But I'd like to move to the 13th, and then you could probably come, and maybe you could do a panel, maybe do like one of your
Oh,
sketch
sketch off.
offs. Yeah,
Oh,
that'd be
that'd be
awesome.
fun.
And then so if we can't get those 2 dates, we're looking into late August, like we did last year, like the end of August, or dip into September, like either end of September or before Granite State, try to get in
Oh,
there.
yeah. Like kind of if you can squeeze right in.
Yeah, like after Labor Day, before them kind of thing.
Right,
So
right.
we
There's
may
such
do
a
that. We'll
glut at
see.
the end of the year, though, for conventions. It's like you're almost better off staying closer to the other side. You know what I mean? July or sooner.
Yeah, I agree. Like I rather kind of get in before the big shows, if I can.
Right.
So yeah, so that's what I'm gonna try to do. We'll see. So once we sign with them and we have a date, we'll definitely make an announcement. But I want to make
Do you,
sure everything's on the up and up before we
do you
do
think
that.
that location's a done deal, or do you have
I'd
other options that
say
you're looking through?
I'd say it's right now we're only pursuing that one because it does look good, and the fact that
How's
they
the parking situation? Is it free?
yeah, oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and
How
they
about the
they have
Aloha situation? Is there Alohas for everybody all around?
there should be enough parking for everybody, I think. If
Okay.
not, it's kind of near BJ, so you could park at BJ's and walk over,
Just kind of
so
walk over.
yeah, so there's plenty of parking in that general area, so should be
Okay.
fine. Yeah, Amy, I gotta admit, she really sweetened the pot with them, but she did it in a good way. Like she got contacts from friends at the DoubleTree and kind of brought in a whole presentation about other events like Granite State and Kids Con, and kind of did this whole presentation with the lady there, much more
Oh,
than I
nice.
did when I originally went in. I just went
You're
in.
like, yeah, I want
Yeah,
to run a show.
I want to run a
It's a
show.
Comic-Con.
Yeah.
It's all comics.
Yeah, it
What
was
do
like
you
Rodney Dangerfield trying to throw a comedy show or something. Like, hey, yeah, I want to do this,
think?
But so she did it, and then like her and the lady hit it off. So I think it's gonna be a done deal. We just don't know what the date is yet, So
Sure.
I'm hoping those are our key dates. So we'll see. I'm hoping big time for the July 13th one. I think that would be great, for the show.
Fingers crossed for you on that one. I hope you guys nail it.
Yeah, the other thing I don't know is because Springfield is in that mix too, Springfield Comic-Con. And I don't know if they've even set a date yet. So I'm hoping they don't trample on us like they did last time, you know?
Oh yeah.
So that could still be a thing. But once I pick a date, I'm not moving though, like, because it's already hard enough to like,
Post that into the ground and say, hey,
I will.
this is
Yeah.
my
I'll be like,
steak.
so
This
if even
is-
if Springfield tries to take that weekend, I'll be like, sorry, I'm not moving my show. So
yeah.
may the
But you know
best
what, though?
man
It's
win,
far
you know?
enough right. It's far enough apart. I mean, unless does Springfield bring in like a bunch of celebrity guests or
You know, I never did their show. I think they have at least a decent amount of comic guests, you know. I don't know if they do like a lot of media or anything like that. They might have. I'd have to look at their website for last year and see. But yeah, I'm not too worried if we have to butt heads. I mean,
Were
hopefully
you thinking
we don't.
of getting some celebrity to come to your show this year? Or
we already have a celebrity coming to the show, Harry Gerostergios.
Well, besides that big ticket, I guess. Besides me, of course. I meant besides me.
I think if anything, I'd probably try to get a wrestler there.
Right.
You know,
I think you
I
were
would
talking
probably
about that
talk
before.
to Lucky Pro, see if we could partner on something, you know, and try to get somebody there.
Would this be a well-known wrestler or like a?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, last year I was trying for Sergeant Slaughter, but it just
yeah.
kind of didn't work out in the dates. And I guess he only does shows certain times a year. But I could have had it was Jimmy Hart. Like they offered him to me, but
Actually,
he
I
had to
met them
be
both.
in New York on the same day.
Yeah.
So he was like he didn't want to cut corners like that. So
I fell into the same trap with Sergeant Slaughter that I did with Greg the Hammer Valentine. I was at a Super Mega Fest or something, and you know, it's like weird, like kind of like, you know, not weird, but also at a hotel setting.
Okay.
You know? And it was, and the weird part was, it's like, you know, regular, like the different floors, like one floor with like celebrities and comic book artists, you know, then like a middle floor, then there's like a basement floor where all the like, you know, like girls wearing nothingness, you know, are down there trying to get.
Oh, I actually remember that.
Okay, and there was one dark hallway that I meandered into, and then I saw a table that had wrestling pictures on it, like 8x10s. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm like paging through them, and then I hear, "Hey, want an autograph?" I'm like, I look up. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it was. I'm not sure. And I didn't know who it was. It was Greg the Hammer Valentine, like in the darkness, you know. I'm like, I want a picture. I'm like, okay, you know. So I
was he?
All right. So I've got two stories from that same Super Mega Fest.
You did what?
I saw a very inebriated Mickey Dolenz perform in concert that evening, and
Last Monkey.
Yeah, and well, instead of a cappella, he said Acapulco, which is pretty funny. But also, me and a good friend Johnny G, we used to work for Vermont Comic Con back in the day.
Okay,
and we look to our right, and there's this guy, and he's just clapping, and he's having a good time, and he's like jiving with like Mickey Dolenz, who's singing on stage. And I look to my right, and that guy, Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Wow.
Nice.
Like completely jovial, nothing like you'd expect Greg the Hammer Valentine
He looks
to be
pretty
like.
good for his age.
I liked him as a wrestler. I thought he
Yeah.
was a great wrestler.
Classic
you know,
Greg the Hammer when he got hurt. You know, he had to do like a face, you know, flop.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Face plant.
Oh, and he had the dog collar match, one of the first dog collar matches.
Oh yeah,
with, with Roddy Piper, where they
Yep.
bled to fucking death.
Yeah.
And then put that type of match on the map.
Yep.
Second story from that same show. Same dark hallways that Harry was venturing down. I was kind of walking around. Yeah, I was actually walking around, and I was filming at that show. So that's why I was kind of looking for our like home base green room where all of our equipment was. And I'm poking my head into rooms looking for that. And I poke my head into one room, and it's a bunch of 40-year-old men sitting in a semicircle.
Can I guess?
Being read. Yeah. Yes.
It wasn't Debbie Gibson, was it?
No.
Because I fell through a trap door too. It's a side
really?
room, and Debbie Gibson was in this room by herself. I'm like, am I in your room right now? Like, where am I? Like, but anyway,
It was a semicircle of 40-year-old men sitting like a bunch of fucking kindergartners who were being read to
Oh my God.
by Elijah Dushku.
cool.
Oh,
And
really?
Rick Fox, who was her boyfriend or husband at the
Wow.
time, was
Former
standing
Celtic.
in the corner. And I'm like, this is the weirdest, most surreal thing I've ever seen at a Comic-Con. And I slowly backed out of the room.
What was she reading? A comic or like?
Some book. So it was, I think it was like maybe like something out of one of her novels or something.
Oh, so
And I
she
think
writes
it was like-
novels. Okay.
But just the way it was, like the way I walked into it, and people weren't in chairs, they were sitting on the floor, semicircle, like it was a kindergarten room. But it was all fucking grown men. And I'm like, what is
Like-
wrong with this picture?
Like Romper Room or something.
Yes. Or like Captain Kangaroo, where Rick Fox was
Or
the Captain
What was the-
Kangaroo.
was it Romper Room, the one where she would look in the mirror and say, "I see Johnny" or whatever? Like,
Oh, yeah.
is that
oh,
Romper Room? I can't
fuck.
remember.
I think so. I agree with Amy. Getting Nakoma Tala for me. That wrestler,
who-
the wrestler we saw at Lucky
Oh
Pro.
yeah, for
Yeah.
for LPW. We're going to that next. Was it next Friday when
This
you'll
Friday.
be at? Yeah,
Yeah, I'll
you'll
be in
at,
Saratoga.
Saratoga. But there was a. Did she
Wait,
tell
it's
you there was
this
like
Friday, not next Friday, right?
Yeah, it's this coming Friday.
This
The,
Friday, yeah, because this Friday
She
I'll be
told
up
you
in
there was like that WCW guy that's going to be at the show too, right?
Shane Douglas.
Shane Douglas, yeah. So
Shane
it's probably going
Douglas,
to be
he
pretty
was-
packed.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Shane Douglas was he was first in WWE from my recollection. One of the things he was known for was skateboarding down to the ring. That was
Oh,
his
cool.
thing.
I wonder if he'll do
And
that.
later on, yeah. And then later on, he became part of ECW, which was that big, like, hardcore revolution of wrestling.
Yeah.
And from there, he was like this hardcore champion where he was bleeding and fucking people up and just like absolute like mayhem.
Nice.
So he's kinda
I'm
known
looking
for
forward to seeing it. I hope it's a good
Yeah.
show again. I had fun at the
Yeah,
last
is it the
one,
same location that we went to last time?
Yes, but they're gonna be upstairs this time, which is the bigger room, which will be nice because I can kind of gauge how big that room is in case I ever want to do a
Right.
small show there,
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm hoping it's good. We'll see. I'll let you know.
Nice.
Next week once we do it.
Yeah. Let me know.
Slaughter-
Keep me posted.
Yeah.
Slaughter would be good if you got him because he's like a comic character and a wrestling character. Like he's like
Yeah, I mean, I
it's
thought he
two-
would
two
tie
one.
in well with the G.I. Joe guy,
Right,
the
right.
designer that we had there, and that was my thought originally.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Larry Hama, right?
No, when I had Ron Rudat there, the guy that designed. This was last year. I was trying to get him.
Right.
So I thought they would pair well together with G.I.
Right,
Joe
right.
fans and wrestling fans. So
Right, yeah. A 2-for-1.
I might try again. I mean, he's a little pricey.
Yeah.
Like he's a lot more. I think he's like $5,000 versus
Oh, geez, wow.
$2,000 for like
Yeah.
Jimmy Hart.
Yeah, I've met him.
So-
I met him in New York under the same circumstances as Griff the Hammer because I see a table, wrestling photos. I'm like, oh, cool, and then he comes over, is like, want a picture? I'm like, all right. And then he puts me in like Chemo Clutch, and I have like a series of like Chemo Clutch. Oh no, not Chemo Clutch, Cobra Clutch.
Cobra Clutch.
Pictures. It's like you can do like a flip book with them.
Those are kind of fun though. If I ever got a picture with a wrestler, I would like that. The only one I ever got a picture, or two I ever got a picture with was Tony Atlas.
Okay.
I took a picture with him.
Oh,
holding the
Tony
belt.
Atlas.
Yeah, and then the other one that I got a picture with
Super
is,
nice guy. Has a weird thing for
Oh
feet.
yeah, he's awesome. He probably would come down again if I talked to him. The other guy was the Road Warrior, the one that died. Was it Hawk? Was it Hawk? that
They
died?
both passed away.
Oh, did they really?
Which one died a few years
Yeah.
ago? Was it Hawk?
Animal or Hawk? I don't know.
That is Hawk. No, Animal.
Animal.
Yeah.
That's the one I met.
Yeah.
The one that died a few years ago.
If you can
'cause
get
I
them
met him-
Do
Keith,
you know
that'd be
his
pretty
real
amazing.
name? Was it Joe?
Semino
go by
would know.
Joe or anything?
That's how I met him. Semino brought him in as a
Oh.
guest at Terrificon when him and Mitch were
okay.
still friends. And
Yeah,
and then they let me take a picture with him for free because John, greased the wheels and everything, so that
Cool.
was cool. I always liked those dudes as a tag team. I thought they were awesome,
Mhm.
so
Yeah,
those are the
yeah.
only two wrestlers I ever really met and that I have pictures with.
The
But,
last few that I mean, I met again at a Dinky Super Mega Fest or one of those, maybe a Boxborough, like a Northeast Comic Con. I think
Comic-Con, yeah, kind of thing.
whatever. Brutus the Barber Beefcake was there, and
Oh,
he
nice.
had he had
Was
his
he in a hallway? He was in a
yeah,
hallway, right?
Yeah, in the hallway, yeah, and he had his
I was
shears.
working that. I was still working for Northeast at that time. I remember that.
Oh, were you?
Well, I walked in. I was on my way to my friend's house, and I get like the I forgot that it was like that weekend. I was like driving by that exit. I'm like, oh, I pulled in, walked in, got a picture with like Brutus, and like left. But he had his like like a hedge shearers on the table, and I'm like, it's like sitting in his chair. Like, all right, let's take a picture. I'm like, you know what? Is there any way that I can sit in the chair and you can get behind me with the shears, pretending to give me a haircut? It's like, all right, but I didn't realize he was in rough shape. You know what I mean? Like he was like limping over. I'm like, oh my god,
That's the problem with a lot of these guys. Is that
I know,
they take
they
so many
don't-
bumps over time.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
hurting from the sport,
Yeah.
Harry, are you going to Northeast next show in November?
Depending, I'm not
2
sure.
weeks from now.
I mean, only if
I saw that Dave Foley's going to be there. That's pretty big for
right.
that
And
event.
Kevin McDonald.
kids in the hall. Yeah. Who else?
That's pretty
yeah.
big for that event. If I was more of a fan of those guys, I might have gone.
Canadians. Speaking of Canada.
Well, I was never like that big on Kids in the Hall. I like it, but I was never like crazy about it.
Yeah,
like,
same here.
I love all the comedy troops. I might have to go just to see them.
Mhm.
Now, you probably could finagle a free pass, I'm sure, from
I
somebody.
usually can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just have to
You
dodge
always have a
certain
ton
people.
of friends in there that can kind of grease
Well,
the wheels a little bit.
When you work for a show long enough, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, no, the other thing I want to talk about is I was at KidsCon this past weekend in Portland, Maine.
Emily
Awesome
Druin show.
Yeah, Emily Druin's show, Emily and Jeremy. Awesome show this past weekend. Probably hands down our best profitable show this year. We made almost $400 and it was only from like 10 to 5, like
It's a one-day show, right?
one-day show.
That's fantastic. I love a
Isn't
good
that
one-day
great?
show like that. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, it was like perfect. We were in and out. It was only about a 2-hour ride,
Mighty
doing
Mascots
stuff.
is perfect for that type of show
Right.
too.
Yeah. The other bonus thing that ended up happening is right next to us on the left and right side, 2 no-shows. So Amy snagged a whole table for herself.
Cool.
And then the other person that was vending over there grabbed the rest of the other table. So it didn't look like there was any dead spots.
What
But
do
I
they go
think that
for?
totally helped, like having Amy's stuff separate from mine, so we were
Yeah,
both
yeah.
smelling stuff.
It
And,
spreads things out a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was great, man. It was probably the best show I've had at the Kids Comic Con. And just it was also nice to see like a bunch of our friends, Johnny. So like I ran into Jason May, Bill Walco, Chris Gugliotti. Do you know Sergio? He has a comic called Dragon Frog. He was there.
Doesn't ring a
Sergio, I
bell.
forget what his last name is, but he's such a nice dude.
Is he the
Ryan
guy with the
Higgins.
stash?
Does he? No, he
Isn't he?
doesn't. He was at him and his wife was at that crappy country club show that we did this past year where no one
Yes.
showed up.
Yes,
was
I
there.
know exactly who you're talking about now.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And then
100%.
I ran into Ryan Higgins, who was I don't know if you remember him. He was the guy, he was the father of those 2 kids that we had on in the show.
yes,
the dude that
yes,
Geek
yes,
Gossip.
I remember.
He's killing it with his comic. He's got 3 issues out and
Wow.
they look awesome. Like I bought the ones I needed and I got to unbox. I backed his campaign for the Halloween special he did. I have it over there somewhere that I got to unbox it. Probably this week I'll do that. But yeah, it was nice catching up with him, and he's all in on doing Comic-Cons. I saw Joe Medeiros there. I saw
Joe's great.
Joe's awesome. And is it Scott Jeffrey, the guy the knife guy? Is that his name?
Yeah, Scott.
Yep.
Scott Jeffries. Yep.
I saw him briefly. He was there. Patrick Davis, Chris Hebert, but not the Hebert brothers. The Chris Hebert that runs CH Collectibles.
Oh, yes. I only recently discovered that there's 2 Chris Heberts running around.
Yeah, I just found that out a year ago, and I only know him now because he does his own show in Connecticut called CT Collecticon, which I'm doing in December.
Oh, cool!
It's like the first weekend in December. Hopefully, it's good. We'll see.
In show or one day?
It's one day, thank God.
I like these.
Yes, we have 2 shows left. We have that one and Start at the Station left, and they're both the same weekend. One's on Saturday, one's on Sunday, so that should be fun. But I one thing I snagged, if you guys want to check it out, I don't know how much, but off of KidsCon's website, they did a cosplay parade where the kids just kind of walked through the main floor where all the vendors were, and they just so they took a video of it. It was pretty cool. Some of the costumes are great. So if you guys want to see it, I could probably play it for you.
Yeah, can you pull up the video? Did you
I got it right here. I kind of pulled it up.
Oh, awesome. Let's roll that footage.
Yeah. Let me take a look here.
It's probably fresh off of Halloween costumes, probably, or right? Because
what better way to dust off the Halloween costume?
Right.
Before putting it away for the year.
Right.
One of the costumes a kid made out of cardboard was like an ATST, and like he was the AT. Cool. It was awesome. I was like, wow, great job. But yeah, here, check it out. Let me bring this up here, and we'll play it here. But yeah, it was really cool.
Great Ahsoka.
I think that was Emily, actually.
That was great.
Stephen Jones was there too. Talked to him for a while.
Soundwave.
That was awesome.
I started my
Doctor Strange there.
of that time, and then some
Great, huh? How many kids were dressed up and stuff?
It's a parade, a costume parade. Punisher walking you around. You just kind of listen to drink.
Oh, I talked for a few minutes with Jeff Klein. He was there from Garden Pop.
Looks like Tim Jones was there too, huh?
Yeah, I talked to him for a little while. That was fun.
Oh, look at Goomba. That's great. Oh, with Bowser. Fantastic. Oh, look at that. Piranha Plant.
So how many people that were like
Lots of people.
Yeah, isn't
man.
that crazy
Lots
how many
of
people are dressed up?
No wonder you did so well.
Yeah, it was clearly the biggest KidsCon I've ever been to. So that was it.
Wow, that's impressive.
Isn't that cool?
I was trying to remember who came out of Soundwave, and it was like a Ravenge or what was
Rat Bat.
Yeah,
Rat Bat and
the flying.
There was Laserbeak and Rat Bat,
Right,
and
Laserbeak,
then
wasn't there like a pal driving one
what's
too?
the beak? Was like the what was the one with the what was the bird? It was like
Ravage,
Laserbeak or something.
Laserbeak, Ravage, Rat Bat. And then there was the 2 mini ones, Rumble and Frenzy.
Oh yeah.
See the earthquake looking guy, the guy that made the Earth.
Rumble.
Yes.
Rumble.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a big Transformers fan.
That's a pretty good. That's a pretty good.
If it wasn't apparent enough.
Yeah.
Right.
There's my Megatron.
Do you have any Generation Ones there? Original ones? Original,
No, those are
figures?
stuffed away in the attic. But
Oh, nice.
I've got my Masterpiece Optimus,
Mhm.
Masterpiece Megatron. There's the world's smallest Optimus right between the legs of Tony Stark there,
Oh, cool.
and I've got my my Optimus collector's tin up there.
Have you seen that really expensive Optimus that transforms? That
I almost bought that.
holy
That's like
shit!
that was 700 bills. I almost pulled the trigger
Right.
on that.
Oh
Pretty
man.
cool, though.
I was like, I got to pay down some credit cards. I
Did
can't.
you,
I can't.
Johnny? Did you check out the new series by Skybound yet? The Transformers.
No, but I
one?
want to pick it up. It's already in
first
like its
two are
third
great.
printing or something.
Yeah, the first two were good. I read them and yeah, I really liked it.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out.
I'll have to see. We might have first printing still at the store.
Oh, let me
I'll
know. I
look.
should just come. Do you get a discount? I should just come down and buy a bunch of
Get
books.
much. It's not even worth it. I get like 10% off. It's like
Yeah.
nothing, you know.
I was thinking about setting up a pull list somewhere.
Yeah.
I know View Askew, the Kevin Smith store.
Yep.
He has a program where you can pull list from anywhere.
Oh, really? And then they
Yeah.
mail it to you once a month or something?
Yeah, but that sounds fun because it's novelty because you're getting it from Kevin Smith's store.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
honestly, if I was going to set it up, I'd rather support somebody who's local. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Tim does, like, I think if you set up subs, I forget how the discounting works, but he does do some kind of discount with people, you know.
I'll have to talk to him. See if
Yeah.
maybe he can set some books
Yeah,
aside.
I think you have to do it all through the website, the One Stop Shop website. But I do my I get my comics like every month through DCBS online. So
Got you.
I kind of waited to see if it was better to go through Tim or through DCBS, and DCBS is still slightly better in discounts.
Yep.
So I just stayed with them, you know. And then I pick up this little shit I miss here and there at his store. So, you know,
Right.
or wait for sales and go nuts, you know. But yeah, no, I liked it. I liked the first two issues a lot. I never read anything by this Daniel Warren Johnson, who is the guy that's writing and drawing it.
He's doing both?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it's really good. It's like a retelling of the whole G1 stuff, but it has some new twists and turns to it, like that, you know, are very interesting. And he's trying to inject some characterization in there, but they're also trying to build up this whole Mattel, or is it Mattel that did all those toys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hasbro.
Hasbro. Right.
So they're trying to build up this whole Hasbro universe. Like in the second issue, Starscream kind of attacks like this fighter plane, and you see like the pilot bail on it, but he tries, you know, he kind of presses the attack on Starscream, and he's able to get Starscream to go away. And then they go close up on his chest, and you see the name Duke. So you're like, oh,
cool.
shit, you know? So they're tying it all into G.I. Joe and everything together. So
I need to reach out to Skybound because I've always wanted to write Mask.
Oh God!
And if they have the Hasbro license, I want to fucking write Mask so goddamn bad.
I bet he's got some shit up his sleeve for stuff like that too. I wouldn't doubt it, you know.
If
So
you were to
I'm
bring
excited
back,
for everything.
if you guys were to bring back like an old timey cartoon, because they're remaking everything now into like movies, like, you know, Transformers, and like what cartoon would you want to, something, you know, obscure or something, like what would you bring back?
Mask,
Ooh.
Mobile Armored
Mask.
Strike Command.
Mask is a good one.
I fucking love Mask. I have a story already in my head. I want to write it.
I'm trying to think.
Skybound, reach
God.
out to me.
That's a tough one. There's a lot I like.
Nacelle, the
Which
Nacelle company, is bringing back Biker Mice from Mars.
Oh wow.
Robo Force. They're doing a couple of them actually. I think they're doing Silverhawks.
GoBots.
Silverhawks would be cool. They're bringing that back as a cartoon.
I
Or?
believe so. Well, or comics or something.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Silverhawks. Remember Tiger Sharks? That was the other
Tiger Sharks,
Thundercats ripoff.
Mhm.
Someone would. If they put all three of those together, it'd be fucking awesome.
Thundercats would be cool if they can do something, you know, but that's kind of mainstream. Maybe Thundar the Barbarian. That'd be cool.
That'd be
Yeah,
a
would
good
be
one. I've,
cool.
I've
That'd be-
actually, I was.
Blow the mutt.
Right,
What's
'cause
that?
it's like a dystopian, post-apocalyptic. I know.
Oh,
It's like
Jack Kirby
can,
too.
You,
Jack
you can
Kirby
do
did
so
all the
much
Jack
crap
designs
with
for
that.
that. Jack Kirby and
Yeah.
Alex Toth. I was kind of low key looking into the license for Thundar at one point,
That'd be a
and
cool thing
I
to bring back.
tracked it. That who owns it is Warner Brothers because they
Oh,
absorbed
They
all
should
of the.
do something with that.
No shit, like I can't
They
believe
did
they
absorb
haven't.
Hanna
Like,
Barbera.
You can do so
What's
much
that?
like post, or like after basically everything dies. Like
you
like,
could make such an
so many
awesome
things.
comic with that. Yeah,
No.
it's a waste that it's just sitting there.
Yep.
And it's
That'd be
Jack
cool.
Kirby adjacent. Like you
Mhm.
can't beat that.
That's cool.
Thundar is a good one. I think I would bring that one back.
It's
Or
a Star Wars ripoff, but it's whatever. It's still
it was
pretty
different enough. It was different enough.
Right,
Like,
yeah. It's like a Star Wars.
remember that
He-Man,
villain that had like the head that would
the
change?
switch. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that was
amazing,
great.
like sorcery and like weird.
Yeah, sorcery and super science, wasn't
I
it?
know, it's awesome. Oh
Yeah,
sweet.
that's great.
I told you I'm a Mask fan. Mac Tracker. That's
Yeah,
the GI
nice.
Joe. So a couple of years back, GI Joe released like a couple of Mask figures,
hmm
and like they were trying to dabble with doing the cross universe
If
thing.
Mask had some
Yeah,
power.
and I was able to pick one up.
Sweet.
I always loved the villain in Mask. What was that guy's
Miles
name?
Mayhem.
Miles Mayhem. Great
Hells
name.
yeah.
Looking great name.
Yeah, there was another guy who basically had the voice of Jack Nicholson called Sly Rax, and he
Okay, I
basically
kinda
had the
remember that.
visor, like he had like the cool OD
okay.
visor, but then
Yeah.
like a goatee and a mustache, and it was just like he's like works like voodoo magic, and that was kind of his voice. You know what I mean?
Sweet reference. Komodi. Like
Yeah, cool.
There's a
Exactly.
YouTube
Cool,
channel that's I think it's a Hasbro channel that's just runs GI Joe episodes all day and all night. I sometimes put it on in the shop when I'm working at the mall instead of because usually they put on like YouTube channels with just video game music. I was like, I'm putting on GI Joe. Like I
Who was
had
that
GI
guy-
Joe playing all
who was
day.
that
It
guy
was awesome.
that looked like the Ultimate Warrior that was
Which
in
one
G.I.
from
Joe.
GI Joe or
Yeah, right. Like what's the guy's
was
name?
it one of the Dreadnought guys?
Dreadnoughts. Yeah, Zartan.
Zartan?
Yeah, you're thinking
That
of
reminds me
Zartan.
of
He had the paint on his face, right?
right, exactly.
And he had a
Right.
hood.
Yep. Okay.
Yep, that's Zartan.
Yeah, all the
Reminds me of
GI
that-
Joes and all the Cobras were great, man. Great characters like Tomax and Zaymont. I love how they
Max
were.
and Zaymont.
they-
Yep.
I love how they were bankrolling Cobra.
Yeah. Right. They were.
You remember that they were
Yeah.
they were the business guys bankrolling all the
They were.
shenanigans.
And they finished
was
each
great.
other's sentences.
Yeah, I love that, man. That's great stuff. I think if I brought a cartoon back though, I think I would do Mighty Orbots. Remember that one?
Go,
Yeah,
mighty
Such a
Orbots.
good movie. Yeah, that was a great
That was
cartoon.
that was like one of those like anime
like a Voltron.
rollovers.
Yeah, like kind of like a
Voltron, yeah.
Voltron ripoff,
Right. Yep.
but it was fun. It was like really fun.
Oh, I
Like,
would
all
have
the
thought you would have.
robots were kind of fun,
I would have thought you would have guessed that you would have said the Monchichis, but
The Monchichis.
with the
right.
and then they had like that was the big thing with the toy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's right.
I would
Monchichi
say
was like
Real Ghostbusters. That was one of my favorite cartoons, but we already have the
watch it.
Ghostbusters
Frank Welker
movies
was
and
the
everything.
Well, he played Ray and Slimer. I think. Is he
Slimer,
both?
right?
And Ray, I think. He's both Ray and Slimer.
The voice
did
actor.
everything. Yeah, he's in everything. Like Frank Welker.
Frank Welker was Megatron.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Scooby Doo
Yeah, he did a bunch, right? He did a lot.
Dr.
Of
Dr.
voices.
Claw.
Yeah,
was Dr. Claw. That's right.
So many things.
And Chris Latta was both Starscream and Cobra Commander.
Mhm.
And then they did the one crossover episode of Transformers where it was Dr. Viper or something, but it was clearly Cobra Commander.
Yeah.
Meant to be Cobra Commander.
And wasn't there like they were all in the same universe, right? Wasn't they were tied in together by that one reporter or something? There was a
Yes.
reporter character that was on
Gem.
Gem, Transformers, and G.I. Joe, right? And that's how they
Correct.
all kind of tied together.
Correct.
Subtly.
Right.
And I actually saw the one when I was watching on the when I had him on in the store, they had the one episode where they met like Dusty was in it, and they mentioned his name, which is Dusty was the character based off Ron Rudat, who did our show.
Oh,
And they in the episode they say Dusty Rudat, and I was like, that's so cool, you know?
oh, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
That was the one where Cobra was blackmailing him, and like he was trying not to betray the Joes, but they had his family as like they had kidnapped his family.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that was a good. There's so
That's
many
a
good
great one.
episodes of GI Joe, you know, like just awesome shit. Some weird ones, but then they're mostly good though. You know?
Well, so the one that always stuck with me was when Snow Job turned into a whale.
Oh yeah.
And it was like that was like Lovecraft like horror,
Yeah.
like David Cronenberg body horror on a fucking GI Joe cartoon. I was like, that one blew my mind.
Who did Christopher Eccleston play in the movie? Was he
He was
Cobra
Destro.
Commander?
Destro,
Okay.
yeah.
Destro,
I
yeah.
never watched it. I just know
What did
he's
you
in-
guys think of those movies? Like, I thought the second one was better than the first one, the one that had Bruce Willis in it. But they both kind of missed the mark, you know?
Wasn't the Rock in one too?
I have not enjoyed any
Yeah.
of the 3 GI Joe movies yet.
Yeah, I've never seen the Cobra one, or not the Cobra one, the Snake Eyes one. I just didn't look good to me. It looked kind of boring.
It was
and,
not good.
yeah, that's what I thought. It looked kind of.
It was pretty bad.
It looked bunk as fuck, as you usually say.
Ever watch? Have you guys seen? You
It
guys
is
see
punk as fuck. It's punk as fuck.
What'd you say,
Yes.
Harry?
You guys watch Battleship? I didn't see that with Rihanna. I didn't see that.
No, I never saw that one. That was based off the board game, right?
Right.
Yeah,
I'm
never
trying to think
saw
like
that.
80s things. Like
Actually directed by a decent director, the guy that did Shocker and what the hell is his name? Peter. He's an actor too.
I was just thinking about. It's funny
I
these
can't
things-
remember. You know who I'm talking about? He was
I know
in. He also
exactly who you're
directed
talking
Three
about. I forget his
Kings.
name.
Directed
That's
Three
right.
Kings and a couple other movies. He actually directed that Battleship movie, so I thought it might be okay, but I never saw it. Never
It's
saw
funny
it.
that you said Shocker because I'm trying to think of like villains that could be in the Spider-Man movie that hasn't not a main villain, but a villain like an obscure type villain, like
Yeah,
Shocker.
like one of the side
Shocker.
characters. Yeah, they haven't done Shocker yet.
That'd be
Although he
cool.
was
They did do
kinda
Shocker.
in.
Was
Yeah,
he
he
in
was
that?
in one of the Tom
Oh,
Holland
okay.
ones, right? As a side.
He was
character?
far from
He wasn't
the
Homecoming.
full-
first one with the Vulture, right? Wasn't he
Yep.
one of the side guys?
He was
Yeah.
it was Bokeem Woodbine.
That's
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was kind of in
Okay,
it.
kind of, yeah.
What do you guys think of that Kraven the Hunter movie? I think that's going to be a bomb. Probably going to do worse than the Marvels.
So here's my thing with that. Venom, the first Venom movie, I did not look good at all. I actually had a lot of fun with that movie.
I thought the first one was a lot of fun myself.
I'm
It felt
hoping-
like old school like superhero movie that he used to make in like the early
90s.
2000s. Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
late the early
Second one
90s.
I didn't like. I thought the second one was they wasted the
we saw that
potential.
yeah, we saw that together and it was
Yeah, I
terrible
didn't like
because
the second one.
they butchered Maximum Carnage.
Yeah.
They
And
took
it
the
wasn't
Maximum
as fun
Carnage
as the
storyline
first
and they
one either.
fucked it all up.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. And they ruined the potential. Like they had a fun thing going with the first one, but it didn't work in the second one.
Right.
And then I don't know about Kraven the Hunter. I mean, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like what's his face as his father, Russell Crowe. I think Russell Crowe is a good actor, but I just don't care about.
like I said,
Kraven the
I'm
Hunter
hoping for a
movie.
fun movie the way Venom was unexpectedly fun. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
so you think-
Otherwise,
Yeah, do you think it might be that though? Do you think it might be?
or it could be like just a good old school hardcore action movie that just happens to be a Kraven the Hunter movie as well.
Could be, yeah. I mean, if
Yeah.
they go that route,
But I also don't expect them to stay faithful to the character either.
right.
You know what I mean? That's the thing. Is like if you can like divorce yourself from expecting the character and expecting Spider-Man to show up, then you might actually, I think, find yourself enjoying the movie.
Was Kraven
yeah.
the Hunter in Spider-Man and Amazing Friends? Was he ever in that? 'Cause I think I remember.
I think he
seeing-
was, yeah.
Yeah, I think he wore like a
was.
weird like a
He's like the weird
fur
leopard
coat.
thing.
Yeah,
right?
whatever that thing was. Yeah, okay, I remember. Okay,
That's right.
now you're
That's
talking
how
about.
that's his old school look.
Yeah,
They're not going to do that in the movie. The movie
No.
it'll be more like a
modernized, whatever.
modernized kind of
He doesn't want
outfit.
to PETA after him or anything.
Well, I think he's not even in the outfit, right? Probably
Oh.
he'd probably have it at the very end of the movie or something.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll eventually have the outfit at some point.
It's almost like an origin story for him or something.
Right, right.
Did you end up going to see Marvel's, Johnny, or no?
No, but I do intend to go see it. I think I will go see it.
What's that?
Because I actually heard it's a fun movie.
I've heard good things. Yeah, I've heard good things.
But I guess it's catching a bad rap. So
the box office isn't showing that really, but like I've heard good things about it. That one, even if I watched it, it would probably be on Disney Plus, I think.
And
there's
Captain Marvel's a bust, probably. You think?
It didn't
latest-
do well. It
like,
had
I heard bad things
one of
about
the
it.
worst openings of any Marvel movie, I think,
Yeah.
of all time.
I'm hoping that it's just one of those things where oversaturation is the reason why it's a victimized movie and not because it's just bad.
Yeah, well, it's hope, like
right.
I think, if anything, that Marvel's going to have to just take a step back and make sure there's a little more quality in their stuff to draw people back in again,
For all the things that happen in the movie that I've heard of and it's been spoiled for me so far, I really hope it is good, like a good movie. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But
I heard there's like really good stuff in it, but there's also a lot of cringe stuff in there. So
I can see that probably.
But like I said, it's short enough too that Disney Plus will probably be,
So
they'll
speaking
probably
of
have it in a month before. They'll probably have it before Christmas on there. What'd you say, Harry?
So speaking of the Marvel universe and everything, and other universes, comic book universes, is that kind of what you were saying, like before, like the like Johnny was saying with your comic to do other like
a spin-off.
Spin-offs.
I'm working on a spin-off for Surrounded by Death. Yes.
So you're kind of like creating your own universe, kind of almost like your own.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Now,
I don't like to get ahead of myself.
Right.
Johnny, would that spin-off be like just you yourself, or do you have to kick up royalties to the other guys?
No, that
involved?
it would be all me. That one would be an all me
nice.
project, which I can kind of develop and do as I please, and then pepper some stuff from Surrounded by Death into it.
That's cool. Nice. Yeah, I can't wait to see how that develops. I think that'd be kind of cool. Would you be using the same guys, or would it be a whole new character, all different characters?
So the only character that's going to roll over so far is my battle mime.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it's going to be it's going to be Keith Gleason, that same artist.
Oh, cool.
And I think tonally, I'm going to make it a little bit more grittier and action based. It'll still have some humor in it, but it'll be a little bit more of a different kind
more
of tone.
serious kind of zombie.
Yeah,
story.
I think if it's like Fear the Walking Dead compared to Walking Dead.
Gotcha.
Yeah, well, that's coming to end two. There's only two episodes left, but I've been watching it because I started.
I
Watching
like it. I've been watching some of the episodes, and they've actually been pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't
Amy
get.
still stays on all those. I gave up long ago.
I missed
But yeah,
out on a
Amy's
few
still watching
episodes
all those.
last season, so I don't know what happened to Strand, why he became evil. He was like the bad guy all last season. This season he's back to being part of the gang, and I don't know whatever.
I don't know if you're up to date with the episodes, but there is a little bit
kind
of a slant with Strand.
They're in They're in Germany or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
Is that Daryl Dixon show just a rip off of Last of Us? I heard.
I kind of like it actually.
I like it.
Yeah, it's good. It's different.
Of all the spin-offs so far, with like the New York, the Maggie and Negan,
I liked that one too.
I think the Norman Reedus one is better than that one, but even though there's like a lot of subtitles, French subtitles.
That's what Amy was saying. There's a lot of French subtitles on it.
Yeah, there is.
I gave up so long ago that I don't think I'd ever return to it.
The only thing about the I forget what it was called, Dead City with Negan and Maggie was like there was a former one of Negan's men is like in New York, and they call him the Kraut or something, or I forget what his name. But the way he says Negan's name is so annoying.
Yeah.
He kept saying
I
it
know
every other.
exactly who you're talking
Oh my
about.
God,
I forget the guy's name though.
Yeah, Negan. I'm like, shut up! Stop saying his name like that. It's like so annoying.
It's like my good buddy Joe calls bagels bagels. And I fucking hate him for it.
Yeah,
I love the kid to death, but god damn it.
Yeah.
That's great. Awesome. Well, gents, you want to go ahead and wrap this one up? We've been doing it. We've been talking for an hour and 15
It's been fun though.
minutes.
Nice little chit chat,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Unless Johnny, did you want to shout out a few campaigns though before we wrap it up? Or?
Yeah. So real quick, I'm gonna just do the quick campaign shout out. Again, Carissa
shout out
Grant,
to the Gods Untold guys that were supposed to be here tonight. They have a Kickstarter.
Gods Untold. Yep. So you can get their book through Backer Kit.
We're checking the description of the video that's still in there for tonight if you want to check them out.
Yep. And as far as the last 4 campaigns that I have active at the moment that I'm paying for,
okay.
So real quick, the 2 books recently. One was called Second Place, graphic novel, Ben Goldsmith's book.
Oh yeah,
unsuccessful, unfortunately.
Yeah,
which I'm real bummed about that because it looked like a really fun story.
I read an issue of that, and it was very much like a sitcom.
Yeah,
like it was done like this documentary style, like The Office. And I liked it, and I like Ben, and I like Ed Smith a lot. And I saw Ed posted a video that they didn't make their goal. But I commented on Ben when Ben was talking about not making the campaign, and I wrote to him. I goes, "You guys should try in the spring. Like right now, it's too crazy with campaigns."
What did he say to that?
He never said anything back. But
that's a bummer.
They totally should try again.
That was one book I was like, oh, it's a really cool concept. I was looking forward to it, and I'm kind of bummed to see
it didn't get made.
Right. I just hope there is a life. There's a second life for it at some point.
Yeah, I bet they'll find a way to get it out at some point.
Yep. So another unsuccessful was Pops. Pops is
I saw that Pops was like being hard on himself in one of the message boards, and I was like, dude, it's not your fault. I mean, I don't know what he could have done to make, but right now it's tough getting people to back stuff, and
right. Yeah. I mean,
especially something like that that's kind of out of the box,
Yep. But I hope he tries again or does it some other way.
Yeah. It's a great idea. If anything, it's a great idea.
Yeah. Like it's brilliant because of like I said, for all the reasons that it's Roku. Roku builds hardware. There's hardware for Roku in so many TVs built in already. So that's a built-in audience right there, ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
I saw the potential in that. Other one is a new friend of mine from New York Comic Con this year, JD Rosario, New York versus the World, issues 1 through 3. Unfortunately, that campaign was also not successful. I do hope that you guys follow JD Rosario, and if he ever relaunches the campaign, which I hope he does, pick up those books, check them out.
Yeah, maybe we can have him on the show at some point too.
He's actually been in the chat before asking to come on the show, so we should try to find a way to schedule him in.
Yeah, maybe when he gets that going again,
Absolutely. So the last 4 campaigns that are active right now that I have that I'm backing, the 2 of them end on November 17th. They're 2 of our recent guests, Star Noir, Tony James, like we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And the Fabled Offering, Nandor. So both those end on November 17th. Check it out now. Tony needs to overperform to keep Star Noir going. So, back your pledge. If you've pledged, up your pledge. Just whatever you can do. Like, let's pump up that campaign for him. Fabled Offering knocked it out of the park. So that book's getting made. Really looking forward to seeing Nandor's project come to life there. It's at 40, it's just over 4,500. So he's like $50 over goal. So he's doing good so far.
That's good.
Our good friend Trevor that we mentioned earlier, he's got Rise #1. It's a superhero drama and a subversion of the superhero journey, or I'm sorry, the hero's journey rather.
Okay.
So that ends on December 4th. That campaign looks like it's doing pretty good. As a matter of fact, it looks like it's already surpassed its goal.
Nice.
So it had a goal of 6,000. It's
Trevor.
currently at 7,300.
Awesome. Great job. That's a lot in this day and age.
I know, right? And then last but not least, Dirk Manning has his superhero book, Hope, Volume 2. It had a $5,000 goal. It's got 24 days left, and it's already just past 11K.
No shit. Good old Dirk, huh? He's killing it.
Yeah, he's killing it.
That dude makes good money on the campaigns.
Well, comics is his main right now.
Yeah.
So when that's your bread and butter, you're gonna have to, do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's great. Good for him. That's great.
And then last but not least, come see me this weekend in Saratoga.
Yeah. We didn't really talk about that, but like you said, there's
We don't
not
have
really
to talk about it.
nothing really crazy going on there this weekend, right? No real crazy big guests. No, nothing like a Fright Night reunion or anything, right?
No, nothing like that. But there's I'll be doing a sketch off on Sunday. Let's see who else is the.
Those are always fun.
I always have fun doing sketch offs. Hold on, I'll give you a couple of the celebrity guests that are going to be there, just to kind of give you some perspective. Looks like the voice actress from Naruto, Steve Cardenas, the guy who took over for the Red Ranger. Oh, Eric Roberts is going to be there.
Oh, that's a cool one.
Yeah, so that should be interesting. Eric Roberts from Everything.
The Master from Doctor Who.
So and as a matter of fact, that's one of the promo photos they have for him is the Doctor Who TV movie.
Probably the worst thing ever. I mean, Doctor Who. I mean, there's some
from Best of the Best too. Wasn't that like one of the movies?
I think so.
Remember those made like 5 of those.
Best of the Best too. Yep.
Yeah.
The Immortals, King of Gypsies, Pope of Greenwich Village.
Batman Begins. Wasn't he in one of those? The first one or the second one?
Believe so. Yep.
He was one of the mob guys, wasn't he?
I think so. Yep. And then they've got
Expendables 1. Expendables 1.
That's right. Expendables 1. So they also have John Abrams. He was the main guy from Scary Movie. The main kid or whatever, the main actor.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep. And let's see.
Oh, the one that played Doofy?
Not Doofy. He was the kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like if you saw his face, you'd recognize him. He was also in Meet the Parents, House of Wax.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And who else? There's a couple other people, but they were kind of voice actors. People I'm not too familiar with.
Gotcha. So it's decent amount of stars. Not as good as the Fright Night year, which that almost got me to come up because I love Fright Night. It's one of my favorite horror movies of all time.
That was the spring actually, I think.
Yeah, that was
this
great.
past spring. Yep.
Who's still alive in that movie? It's like the guy.
They all are.
Everybody.
Peter.
They all are, except for Peter Vincent.
Yeah,
which is
who is that? Peter? Is it Peter O'Toole?
Roddy McDowell.
Roddy McDowell. Yeah.
From Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes. Yeah.
So good as Peter Vincent too.
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, I hated the remake with
David Tennant.
I liked it.
Did you like it? I couldn't take it.
I liked it.
That's such a sacred movie to me. Like I knew.
Understandable.
What was bad about it? Like, what didn't you like?
It was just too modern. Like I hated how Peter Vincent was like Chris Angel mind freak. You know,
I love that angle of it.
Was that David Tennant?
I love that angle of it. I just thought it was because he was a good modernization of, because the original character was the late night TV.
He was a late night like Hammer horror guy,
which we don't have nowadays, really.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Svengoolie, but it's not as popular, or Joe Bob Briggs, but that's very like niche. Elvira, but that was from another generation anyway.
Right.
So it's interesting to see the way they switched that, where a modern audience could understand that trope of a character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It just didn't work for me.
So Vincent was
Too much
David Tennant,
nostalgia for the
or vice versa?
original.
I do, yeah. I could quote shit from it right now if you.
Yeah.
That's how many
Evil
times
Head's
I've seen
laugh
it.
alone is very
Oh
iconic.
God, so good.
That kid from the Karate Kid that was in it, they got his the cross burnt on his forehead. The kid
Yeah,
always
Stephen Jeffries.
that always weirded me out when I was a kid. And I
Whoa,
was
he
watching
was in
that.
Karate Kid?
Yeah, he was like one of the Cobra Kai original.
Was he
Cobra Kais.
really?
Yeah. Yeah.
His dinner is in the oven.
That was so
Yeah,
good. That's that freaky
it's one of my
voice.
favorite lines in the movie.
Yeah.
So good. But all right. On that note, we will
Yeah,
end.
right.
So make sure you go check out Saratoga Comic Con this weekend. Johnny C's going to be emceeing. You got your own table there too, right?
Yeah, I'll actually have hot sauce for sale too.
Yeah, of hot sauce comics. Check that out. And then he's also going to be doing a sketch off, which I highly recommend. That's always a highlight of any show that Johnny is at. And Harry, you got anything going on that you want to shout out? I know you said you did some of that comic that you worked on.
Yeah, speaking of quests or vision quests or whatever, my quest is to finish this comic before it breaks my back, because I was gonna do 2 pages on Saturday and 2 on Sunday, but it's just so involved. There's like so many things. Yeah, there's so many things that, and I need to add some detail to it too to make it look, add shadows and that's like drawing basically. It's like drawing like other layers of things, and so it's very
you don't want to rush it either.
It's very but I'm going to have to though if it's doing less than a week.
Are you so you didn't reset expectations?
I'm going to maybe at the end of this. I want to see how far I can get by this week
before you guys,
and then maybe I'll see if see where I'm at, and then I'll know how long it takes me to do these pages, and I'll know how much more I have left and how much more time I might need. So I'm hoping. I mean, it is. Thanksgiving is coming up, so I need to maybe around that time. Give me till at least Thanksgiving weekend, to work on it.
Yeah. No, I hear you, man. I hear you. Dude.
Maybe an extra week. We'll see. But that's what I'm working on. It's called The Story of Bad Willie Gray. That's the name of the comic. And I guess he's like a criminal from the Boston area. So
okay.
I'm like 4 pages done in, so hopefully if Bruce is listening right now, I'm making progress, but it's slow.
Yeah. How many pages is it supposed to be total?
It's a total of 10 pages.
Oh, well, you're almost halfway.
I'm almost halfway there, yeah.
Yeah, so that's not too bad.
Yeah.
And make sure you give them the Blambot website that
I'll mention it to
earlier.
I'll mention it.
Because that lettering could use a little tweak,
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to put it into something,
Unless it's like you said, unless he doesn't really care about the appearance.
Yeah, I mean, you should. If you're going to put out a comic and do all that effort, bad lettering can ruin it. But it's honestly, it doesn't look that bad.
No, it's clean. The lettering is
the formatting of it is off. That's one thing I noticed about it.
Yeah,
but
all right.
How about
you, Keith? What do you have going on? Anything?
Nothing. I just wrote like 10 pages today for the Mighty Mascots number 10. I moved all the books onto my website. My next step is to actually start formatting all the Mighty Mascots issues and get them up on Global Comics, because now that I have them back.
Are you keeping some of the details quiet on your
on the new issue?
Yeah, who the bad guy might be.
Well, actually, this issue it's almost like I have to take an issue to kind of resolve the end of the last 2 issues, because there's something that happens, not spoiling anything, but there's something that happens in the last 2 issues that's got to be resolved in this issue before the series can go forward. So it's going to be like kind of like a resolution of stuff through a big battle, basically, So I don't want to say any more in case people haven't read it yet. I don't want to spoil it, but so that's about it. And then, like I said, I'm trying to get some of the digital issues up on Global Comics, because right now I don't have digital issues anywhere available. So
It's good to have, because then when you go to your Global Comics page and you promote that you're going to be at a convention, if they're going to be there too, they'll bring you a press kit.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to get all that squared away, and so that's a little bit of a time thing to do, you know. So, but yeah, that's about it. And then this week I'll probably pop up a couple more videos on the channel. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention earlier too, we're over 900 subs now.
No way, really?
Yeah, we're at 903 when I checked earlier today.
What does that mean? Syndication? Oh.
Yeah. No, we're closer to monetization, which would be nice.
Oh, cool. That's
You
cool.
know, so once you hit 1,000 subs, and then you have to have a certain amount of minutes watched on the channel, which I don't know if we're quite there yet. But then we can start getting a little piece of the advertising they put on the videos and stuff.
Sweet.
That's cool.
So that'd be nice. That'd be nice for like, I could take that money, put it aside, and then like say, Harry, you wanted to go do interviews at Rhode Island. Like, here's
cool.
$40 to pay for your, admission to get in there, or something
Gas money.
like that. Yeah, gas money. That's what I would use it for. I would just use it to better the show,
Yeah. Or
if you need new headphones or something, here's the money.
Or to finance our trip to Europe.
Yeah, something. I mean, I heard it's not much money, but it builds up, especially if you have, especially if you have more subscribers, so.
Right. Yeah.
But also, once you hit 1,000, YouTube's algorithm starts to help you at that point. Puts the videos in more people's feeds, things like that,
That's cool.
So, but it's like getting to that 1,000 is the struggle, so
it's like clearing a level.
Like Amy says, remind people to subscribe. Yes, so if you're watching this out there and you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe and smash that bell for notification, as the people say, right, John?
That's for sure.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. We're going to end this one. And it was fun. We actually had a lot to talk about. So, but all right, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Have a great week and read some comics.
Good night.